Welcome back to the Blue Collar Boxing Podcast. I am Luke from Biloxi. Hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and give me a follow on at Blue Collar Boxing on X. Well, fight fans, Alexander Usyk has made his intentions clear, stating yesterday that he would like to fight Deontay Wilder sometime next year. There's a prevailing narrative among British boxing fans, not all of them, but some of them, that Joseph Parker is ducking Fabio Wardley. Let's not forget Fabio Wardley won the WBO interim heavyweight championship after a questionable stoppage of Joseph Parker, and was subsequently elevated to full title holder after Alexander Usyk decided not to defend that belt. So there's this, idea that perhaps he's ducking Fabio Wardley, and I just want to go on record that that's just absolute nonsense. In the past few years, Alexander Usyk has the best heavyweight resume among active heavyweights. He has 6 fights, all title fights. He fought Anthony Joshua. And one of the things about these fights is while they're not all technically mandatories, they, in a sense, were, and they certainly weren't ducks. So he fights Anthony Joshua. He wins the heavyweight championship. Now, the boxing sanctioning bodies didn't order him to fight Joshua again, but he was contractually obligated to do so. And if he chose not to, he'd have been sued into oblivion by Matchroom. There would have been injunction after injunction, and he probably wouldn't have been able to fight again. That's not to say that Usyk didn't want to fight. Of course he did. It was going to make a ton of money. I'm just saying he was forced to fight Joshua. So he did, and he wins the rematch clear and convincingly. Joshua did better, but Usyk still won. Then Usyk kind of waits around, hangs around, hopes for a Fury fight. Fury decides not to, goes and chases shenanigans with Francis Ngannou and gets embarrassed. So the WBA said, well, we're next in line. Usyk's got to defend against their regular title holder at the time, Daniel Dubois. He knocks out Dubois. After that, he finally gets his unification with Tyson Fury, who holds the WBC title. Is that a mandatory? No. Dubois wasn't mandatory. Fury wasn't. Of course, it's an optional defense, but it's a unification for the lineal and undisputed heavyweight champion. The first time that we've had that in 25 years. So he fights Fury, beats him convincingly, and then is obligated again to fight Fury in the rematch. After that, the IBF does IBF things and decides to strip Usyk of the IBF belt, elevates Dubois, who had just knocked out Hergovic, and then Usyk decides he's going to take Dubois to school again, unify the heavyweight championship, and become 2-time undisputed. And he does that with a knockout. I said all that to say this: Usyk deserves a quote voluntary defense. And if you include the Derek Chisora win, his last 7 fights, he has put together a remarkable resume, and the Chisora win even has aged pretty well. I'm not putting it up there anywhere near his best wins to include his cruiserweight wins, but it's aged pretty well. 7 fights against 7 heavyweights. The last 3 that he fought 2 times apiece were all ranked in the top 5 of Ring Magazine at the time that he fought him. Again, I said all that to say this: Usyk deserves a voluntary defense. And this fight kind of reminds me, if you will, and I know it's a little bit of an apples to oranges comparison, but it reminds me of when Lennox Lewis finally was able to get around to fight Mike Tyson. Uh, Lewis was coming off a loss to Rahman. He then avenged it with a massive left hook right hand combination in the 4th round of their rematch, knocks him flat on his back and out. Lewis had defeated all the heavyweights of his era, at least the ones that would fight him. Riddick Bowe wouldn't fight him. He didn't fight Michael Moore. We forgive him for that. He didn't fight Chris Bird. That's fine. He fought everybody else. He fought Holyfield, Razor Ruddock, Tommy Morrison, David Tua, Michael Grant. The list goes on. A remarkable heavyweight resume. So finally, in 2002, it becomes time. Lewis is eyeing the end of his career, much like Usyk is doing now. He's eyeing his exit, if you will, and decides, okay, let's fight Tyson. Uh, Tyson was coming off his 2 losses to Evander Holyfield and strung together some pretty decent wins. There were a couple of no contests in there. He beat Bota, he beat Andrew Galata. That was changed to a no contest because of weed. That probably wouldn't even happen anymore. He beat Lou Savarese, Julius Francis, had a no contest with Orlin Norris, whatever happened there. Um, but Tyson was clearly a shell of his former self, much the same way that Deontay Wilder is now. And I think Usyk wants a swan song in the United States, at least on his farewell tour. He wants a big heavyweight championship fight in the United States. And Fabio Wardley, no one knows who he is in the United States. Not a lot of people know who Deontay Wilder is, and I understand that, but he's much more well known than Fabio Wardley. He's much more well known than Joseph Parker. Uh, people do kind of remember Fury a little bit. It's been 4 years since he fought here. And Anthony Joshua, virtually no one knows him here. I think it was Mannix that said on his recent podcast when Joshua was training in the United States out in the LA area and he was running around in a park, people thought he was a linebacker on the practice squad for the Los Angeles Rams. So he's not well known here. He's already beaten him twice anyway. So who's left in his era, right? You could argue that Wilder was an era sort of before, but they're contemporaries. Certainly, if you include the fact that Usyk was campaigning at cruiserweight while Wilder was WBC heavyweight champion. Wilder winning a bronze in '08, Usyk gold at heavyweight in 2012. So, yeah, they're more or less contemporaries. It's a fight that would sell well. It would market well in terms of the fact that Wilder has done well against southpaws, save for Zhilei Zhang, but he has done well against southpaws, and that's one way they'll market it. They'll market it, that he beat Luis Ortiz twice with right hands, who is a southpaw trained in the Cuban amateur system. They'll try to make comparisons to that, to the way that Usyk's trained, blah, 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 what have you. I don't necessarily buy any of that, but it's a marketable fight. Wilder will sell it, and it's going to give Usyk the chance to add another name, another former heavyweight champion to his resume, make some money, and go out with a swan song in the United States. As far as what will happen in the fight, if it actually gets signed, I'll do a preview and prediction video. But here, I'll tell you this: Usyk's going to box circles around him, and he probably will knock him out. And everyone will the big right hand of Wilder will be talked up. As his eraser, and that Usyk's a southpaw will be right there to hit him. It's ridiculous. Wilder really hasn't landed that right hand in 4 years. The last time he landed that right hand was in October of 2021 when he fought Tyson Fury in their third fight, and in the third round did uncork one and drop Fury. Fury would obviously get up, get knocked down again, then get up again and go on to knock out Deontay Wilder in their third fight. He did land it against Hellenius. I don't really count that. But since then, he's lost to Joseph Parker decisively and just got battered pillar to post by Zhilei Zhang. So the myth that Wilder still has a right hand, even Tyrell Herndon that he fought back in June, and he looked okay. He didn't look awful. Herndon wasn't there to fight, so Wilder really didn't have him there to hit. He still stopped him, but there's really no chance that Wilder is going to be able to land that shot against Usyk. Wilder just needs to get rid of Malik Scott if he wants to seriously continue his boxing career in a meaningful way and win a heavyweight championship again, and try to make the case that he should get into the Hall of Fame. His resume right now, as you've seen in my previous videos about Wilder, does not quite meet the mark. He's not going to be. He should not get into the Hall of Fame with what he's done now. His career's not over. So yeah, if he were to uncork one and somehow knock out Alexander Usyk, I think he does get into the Hall of Fame. I don't think that's going to happen. But I'm here for the fight. It'll be a big fight run up, a great fight week, uh, and let's do it, man. I love when heavyweights fight each other. When heavyweights fight each other, good things happen and unexpected things happen. So let's make the fight. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm all about it. I'm a big Wilder fan, always have been. We're from similar parts of the country. I've met him a couple times. He's a class act, great guy with the fans. When Deontay Wilder's knocking people out, it's good for boxing. It's particularly good for American boxing. So let's do it. Let's make the fight. Let me know what you think in the comments and give me a follow on @BlueCollarBoxing on X. I will see you on the next one.